In the meth-addicted, child and spouse-abusing, backwoods, trailer park living world of Newton County, Georgia, anything can happen. This is the story of baby Caliyah McNabb. That's her father there, Christopher McNabb, and her mother, Courtney Bell. They are, in fact, first cousins. They did not find out until after they were together that his father and her mother are brother and sister. It's a weird situation. I mean, if you fall in love with somebody, you can't just fall out of love with somebody. So they obviously don't have close relations with their family. Well, I mean, they do obviously with each other, but not, like their fathers and their mothers, brothers, sisters. They're probably not all too close. So on September 23rd, 2017, baby Caliyah is born. About 8 days later, her mother then drops her off with her cousin. Now, her cousin already had 4 kids of her own, and her cousin was already freaking out. In the trial, it said she had 7 children that she was looking after. So I know she had 4 of her own and 2 from Chris and Courtney. So she was stressed and frustrated, and she thought that it was basically her fault because she's the one that made the very first call that started this whole entire thing. And she called her mother, who was Courtney Bell's aunt. Courtney Bell's aunt then called Courtney Bell's father, who was her brother, Tim Bell, and said, "Hey, your grandchildren are at my daughter's house. You need to pick them up." And talk to Courtney, Chris. So he did. He went over there, he took his grandchildren, he said, "You're not getting them back until you pick up the trailer, you get off the drugs, get your things together, and I'll give you the children back." On October 3rd, 2017, 5:58 p.m., she made a 911 call that her father had her kids. 911 told her it's a civil matter. He's probably got the right to have them if he took them, and you got to figure that out between yourselves. So she basically cleaned the trailer and said she got off the drugs at least, whatever the case was. October 6th, he gives the children back. 1 day later, on October 7th, 2017, 15 days into baby Caliyah's life, she goes missing.
Slide up to that microphone.
I get it.
All right, well, will you state your name for the record?
Raymond S. Walden,
Okay. And where are you employed?
Newton County Sheriff's Office, Uniform Patrol Division.
Okay, and were you working in the patrol division back on October 7th, 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you respond out to Highway 36 in reference to a missing child on that day?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And I guess who else was there when you arrived? Deputy-wise.
I'm trying to think how many deputies. We pretty much got there at the same time. I believe Deputy Hicks, 9133, she was there. I got there. I don't remember if the other deputies were there, just in the area searching.
Okay, it's 9133, Deputy James.
Yes, I'm sorry, Deputy James.
And when you arrived, what did you observe?
Well, we parked in front of the trailer and went inside the trailer there, lot 31. It was a mobile home park. I got out and entered the trailer through the back steps. There's a wooden porch, and I went inside the trailer where everybody was at.
Okay, and when you say everybody, who are you referring to?
Miss Bell and her small child. There was a couple other people inside the trailer looking for the child.
Okay, and when you say her small child was there, are you talking about like a 2 or 3 year old child?
Yes.
Okay, and when you said they were looking for her child, that was a
2-week-old child. The missing child was approximately 2 weeks old.
Okay.
And they were looking for the baby.
And was she the only adult there at that time?
No, there was 2 or 3 other adults in the trailer that was in the front looking, and I got Miss Bell and was starting to interview her.
Okay, and what did Miss Bell say?
I'm sorry?
What did Miss Bell say?
She said that the child was in the trailer that morning at the end of the back of the bedroom, and that when she got up, the child was missing. So I just started asking her some questions, and I asked her where her husband was.
Okay, and what did she indicate where he had gone?
She said he went out looking for the child, and
Okay.
so he wasn't around. So I was just talking to her.
Did she indicate where he had gone looking for the child?
She said he went outside looking. Might have been the woods. There's some woods there, and trailer park there, was outside in the woods looking.
Well, what happened after you spoke with her? What happened after that?
Well, like I said, I spoke with her and we did search the trailer thoroughly, making sure the child wasn't in there. And then I went outside, and then I was directing the other officers that came on the scene as a supervisor to tell them to go ahead and canvass the neighborhood, start one point, try to interview anybody that was there, see who's at home, and also search the immediate area for the child. And I was outside, and then that's when Mr. McNabb walked up.
Do you know how long you had been on scene when Mr. McNabb walked up?
Approximately 40 minutes.
And what was his demeanor when he first walked up?
When he first walked up to me, he was not excited or anything. He just walked up to me and looked at me, and I noticed he was soaking wet. His feet was muddy, and I said, "Where you been?" He said he left the trailer and went into the woods. He said, "I walked from the trailer park to the woods. I crossed the street, went across in the woods there, come back across, went to the woods beside the trailer, then I walked up here." I said, "Why did you go in the woods looking for a 2-week-old child?" He said, "I was just looking."
And I guess after you spoke with him, what did you do after that?
Well, at that time, the investigators that we called came to the scene, and I informed Corporal Freeman was the first one pulled up. I informed him what I was doing as a patrol supervisor, trying to get it situated, and that the family was in there. And then while I was there, Corporal Freeman asked me if I would transport Mr. McNabb to the LEC for him. I said, "Sure." Placed him in my car and transported him to LEC.
And you said LEC.
Newton County Law Enforcement Center, Jail Center, I'm sorry.
Okay. And did you end up doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I guess, did you have your body camera on this day?
I had it on, but I mashed it. I thought it was recording. It was very new. It didn't record. And then I had a rain jacket on most times, so I didn't want to get them wet, so it was covered. But no, I didn't have it on.
Okay, and if this was October of 2017, how long had y'all had these body cameras?
Ma'am, I don't remember.
Had it been a long time? Had you been wearing a body camera for a long time
No.
at that point?
So 40 minutes after the police arrive, the father comes tromping out of the woods next door. Muddy boots, soaking wet, right in the area where the body was found, saying he was looking for the baby. Now, I know they're mutants, but, I don't think their daughter was the next X-Man. She probably didn't get up and run off into the woods. Don't get me wrong, I would also search the woods if I had my child missing. But it would not be the first place I looked. I would be probably with the police right from the beginning. So the father says this man here, Shane Kidd, was the one who took the child and killed it. Now, when you watch the trial, this guy seems a lot more believable and a lot more, emotional about the situation than the own father does. So, but both of them have issues. I mean, I wouldn't believe either one of them if I met them in real life about anything. They both have many, many issues with telling the truth. But I do believe that this man probably had nothing to do with it. So my whole video is based on the media and how the media twists these stories and turns them into something that they're not for their own ratings. Whereas these are real victims, real people who need to get their lives together, who have issues. And the media does not do an ounce of anything to help. They find whatever's going to work to sell the story and move forward. People need to really know these victims, know the injustice that's happened. So my video is dedicated to Caliyah McNabb, and that someday justice, true justice, will be found for many victims that the media does not care about. Thanks for watching.